August 6, 1945. 8:15 a.m. Hiroshima, Japan. A single aircraft crossed the morning sky. 60 seconds later, 80,000 people were dead. The weapon had been built entirely in secret. 3 years, $2 billion, 130,000 workers. Most of them never knew what they were building. This is how it happened. It began with a letter. September 1939. Berlin. German physicists had just split a uranium atom. The energy released was unlike anything ever recorded. Albert Einstein wrote to President Franklin Roosevelt immediately. 2 pages. Urgent. Classified. It warned that Germany was already building a weapon. Roosevelt read it on October 11, 1939. He set it down and said, "This requires action." Then nothing happened for 2 years. Meanwhile, in Berlin, Werner Heisenberg was already working, Germany's greatest living physicist, Nobel Prize winner, 37 years old. Hitler wanted the bomb first. Heisenberg had been given the resources to build it. The clock had started. America didn't know it yet. The question was not whether a bomb was possible. The question was who would finish it first. December 7th, 1941, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. America entered the war. 6 days later, the Manhattan Project was authorized. Budget, $2 billion, equivalent to $30 billion today. Mission, build an atomic bomb before Germany does. General Leslie Groves was assigned to lead it. Total authority, no oversight, no public record. On October 15th, 1942, Groves made one phone call. He called J. Robert Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was 38, theoretical physicist, Berkeley professor. He had never managed more than a dozen graduate students. Groves gave him command of 130,000 people. The site was chosen, Los Alamos, New Mexico, remote, classified, surrounded by empty desert. Construction began November 1942. Scientists were assigned numbers instead of names. Mail was censored. Phones were monitored. Oppenheimer called it the Hill. Everyone else called it the place that didn't exist. But there was a problem no one had solved. Weapons-grade uranium-235. No one had ever produced even 1 gram. They needed hundreds of kilograms, and they needed it fast. 3 separate facilities were built simultaneously. Oak Ridge, Tennessee, uranium enrichment. Hanford, Washington, plutonium production. Los Alamos, New Mexico, bomb design and assembly. Each site was classified from the others. Workers at Oak Ridge did not know what they made. Workers at Hanford did not know what they made. Only Oppenheimer's team saw the full picture. Across the Atlantic, the Germans were not standing still. By 1943, Allied intelligence suspected Heisenberg was close. Operation Alsos was launched, classified mission. American and British agents followed Nazi scientists across Europe. Their target, determine exactly how close Hitler was. What they found was alarming. Heisenberg's team was operating at a facility in Haigerloch, underground, hidden beneath a medieval church, working on a nuclear reactor. In December 1944, one man nearly ended the race entirely. His name was Moe Berg, former Major League Baseball catcher, OSS intelligence operative. He was sent to Zurich with one mission: attend a lecture by Heisenberg, assess the German program, and if it looked far enough along, assassinate him on the spot. Berg sat 6 feet from Heisenberg. His hand was on his pistol inside his coat pocket. Berg did not shoot. He concluded Germany was years behind schedule. He walked out, filed his report, disappeared. He was right about Germany, but no one fully understood why yet. May 8th, 1945. Germany surrendered. The Nazi atomic program was finished. Heisenberg's reactor had never achieved a sustained chain reaction. The Americans had won the first leg of the race, but the bomb still wasn't built. And now the target had changed. Japan, July 16th, 1945. 5:29 a.m. Jornada del Muerto Desert, New Mexico. Trinity, the first nuclear detonation in history. The device was codenamed the Gadget. It sat atop a 100-foot steel tower. Scientists placed bets on the yield before detonation. Oppenheimer bet 300 tons of TNT equivalent. The actual yield, 21,000 tons. The flash was visible 160 miles away. The shockwave knocked observers off their feet at 10 miles. The steel tower was vaporized instantly. The desert sand beneath it fused into green glass. Oppenheimer stood silent. Then, quietly, he spoke a line from Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." 16 days after Trinity, the bomb was loaded onto a plane. The aircraft, Enola Gay, Boeing B-29 Superfortress. The bomb, Little Boy, 9,700 pounds, 10 feet long. The crew was not fully briefed on what they carried. They flew north, toward Japan. August 6, 1945. 8:15 a.m. Hiroshima. Little Boy detonated at 1,900 feet above the city center. 80,000 people died in the first 60 seconds. The fireball reached 7,200 degrees Fahrenheit. Everything within half a mile ceased to exist. 3 days later, August 9th, Nagasaki, the second bomb, Fat Man, plutonium implosion design. 40,000 dead instantly, 80,000 dead by year's end. August 15th, 1945, Japan's Emperor Hirohito addressed the nation by radio. For the first time in history, the Japanese people heard his voice. He announced unconditional surrender. World War II was over. The Manhattan Project had worked. It had also permanently changed the nature of warfare. No future conflict would ever be the same. Within weeks, Soviet intelligence had begun reconstructing the bomb's design. They already had help from inside Los Alamos. Klaus Fuchs, German-born theoretical physicist, Manhattan Project scientist, Soviet spy for the entire duration of the project. He passed weapons schematics directly to Moscow throughout 1944 and 1945. August 29, 1949. Kazakhstan, Soviet Union. The USSR detonated its first nuclear device 4 years after Hiroshima. The arms race had officially begun. By 1960, the United States and Soviet Union together held enough warheads to end organized civilization. The doctrine was called mutually assured destruction. Both sides would die, so neither side could shoot first. The world had entered a permanent state of armed paralysis. Oppenheimer opposed the next generation of weapons, the hydrogen bomb. He argued publicly that it was a weapon of genocide. In 1954, the US government revoked his security clearance. The man who built the bomb was declared a security risk. He never worked for the government again. Heisenberg spent the rest of his life making one claim: that he had deliberately slowed Germany's program, that he had sabotaged Hitler's bomb from the inside, that he had saved the world and told no one. Most historians believe he simply failed. The truth has never been conclusively established. Today, 9 nations possess nuclear weapons. Combined global arsenal, approximately 12,500 warheads. The technology developed in the New Mexico desert in 1945 never disappeared. It spread. It proliferated. It became the foundation of modern geopolitics. The Cuban Missile Crisis, the Cold War, North Korea, Iran, Pakistan. Every nuclear standoff in modern history traces back to one decision. A decision made by a general and a physicist in October 1942. In a classified office no one was supposed to know existed, and it traces further back than that, to a letter written by Albert Einstein, September 1939, 2 pages, delivered to Roosevelt's desk by a friend carrying a briefcase, the most consequential document in the history of science. The bomb was built. The race was won. But nobody in 80 years has figured out how to put it back.